PJ Net Live Wednesday night with Michelle Medlock Adams and a surprise guest. And we will switch to Studio 6, or actually Studio 4, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whoo! Welcome to PJ Net Live. Give me a second to just do something here, and for reasons that I cannot describe, we're doing something a little special tonight, and you are watching this live, and I see that we are not streaming according to this. So give me a moment, and let me see if the stream will catch up. We are waiting. And waiting and waiting. You know what? Okay. Whew. Everything's okay. Just, ugh. Moments ago, first of all, in just a moment, thank you for being here. Thank you for putting up with all that we just went through. It's very dark outside, as you can tell. And I've been stumbling around in the dark trying to make this happen. And tonight, as is the tradition, Michelle Medlock Adams will be joining us. But we are starting a new tradition right now. And I see that Bethany is having a little problem. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to kind of get started over here in just a second. So bear with me. PJ Net Live will be right back in just a moment. Okay, Michelle, we have you back. We lost you for a minute. Yes, we did. We lost the whole thing. And my CPU is just burning it up back there. Smoke is pouring out from the computer. And we're going to be okay. Okay. Come on in, Bethany. Hurry up. Hurry up. Come on, Bethany. What in the world was that? Is that in your house or mine? Come on, Beth. Yeah, come on, Beth. Come on. There we are. Thank you, Bethany. All right, hold on a minute. Let me check to see how we're doing. And we're doing that. We're doing that. Everything's fine. Okay, good. Okay. Well, we will get this done before midnight. Thank you for joining PJ Net Live. I will skip some of the stuff I was saying, and I'm going to clear some things up, kind of throw some things overboard right now, and because we need to get started, because PJ Net Live is live on 4 different platforms, and I would like to take this opportunity to introduce to you 2 of my very favorite people, and you are going to love them too. You already know them, I'm sure. And with us in our PJ Net Live studio from somewhere in the Central Florida area, you will find, over there, Bethany Jett, and over there you will find Michelle Medlock Adams. And Michelle, I am really graced. This is wonderful. I am surrounded by talented, accomplished, and, by the way, good-looking women. I'm just going to drink coffee and enjoy this. It's good to have both of you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you love it that while I was on the phone with Bethany like 20 minutes ago, I text Mark and I'm like, hey, you want to have Bethany on with me tonight? We can talk about holiday traditions, because we've been talking about that all week in our They Call Me Mom group. Nothing like dropping something on you last minute, huh?
You know what? This is exactly where we want to be in the future with 2 guests on board, but this is kind of an experimental studio, so I hope that we can pull this off. But girls, y'all just go ahead and share with us some of the traditions that you have observed, and if you don't do that, I'm going to start talking about college football games and things like that as traditions of Christmas. And You don't.
That's
You
okay
don't
too.
want that.
I would love that, actually.
All about that, actually. Yeah, we like
Well,
sports. We're not
now,
the we're
now
not
that
that
Florida
we're not
State's
those
actually
girls.
going to a bowl, you're more excited about it. I get it. Yeah, that's.
Yes, and Indiana University. Thank you very much. We're excited as well. IU's got a team this year, so
Do
thank
y'all
you.
have a football
Uh,
team?
yeah, we do, and they
Oh,
actually they this is the first time we've done really great this year. So, yeah. Anyway, traditions. So this week, we were talking our They Call Me Mom Facebook page. We were talking to the women about, hey, what are some traditions that you have in your family? Things that have proven to be amazing over the years that maybe your parents did with you that you're doing now with your children. And we've had such great conversations just back and forth between the women. And one thing we've discovered is that a lot of traditions at holidays are around food. Lots of food traditions, like Bethany's got this amazing. She's going to make it for me when I come down to visit her next month. This amazing, what is it called, Bethany? This French toast thing that you do on Christmas morning. You got to share this with us.
Yeah, so we just do breakfast casseroles, make them the day before, pop them in the oven, and it's it's a lemon cream cheese stuffed French toast croissant bake with raspberry almond drizzle. Like you make it from scratch. It's the best thing ever.
I gained like 5 pounds just hearing you say that. It's like amazing.
I only make it for Christmas. I never realized that until we were talking about it. And I was like, oh, yeah, I make that. When's this?
I mean, that's great. I think there's a lot of food traditions that go along with the holidays. Everybody's got their own specialty and they bring it to the table. They bring it on Christmas Eve when families get together. So in our family, we usually go to my sister's house. Since my mother went to heaven, we all go to my sister's house for Christmas Eve. And there's way too much. There's enough food for an army. Like everybody brings something, and whatever you're really good at. I usually bring a persimmon pudding, but she makes these chocolate oatmeal cookies. They're my mom's recipe. They're amazing. And then we play a lot of games. Like I've been talking to a lot of women. They play a lot of games in their homes too. So many moms said that's something that we do at Christmas Eve. We play different card games. We play other kind of board games. Just everybody together, fun, interactive things like charades and categories and apples to apples. All of those. We play a Midwestern card game called Euchre, and I couldn't believe my friend Bethany. They play it too. We have these. I mean, kind of get a little bit rowdy euchre tournaments every get together we ever have, especially on Christmas Eve. We'll have a couple tables going, and winners take winners, and losers take losers. And we have the best time ever. My sister and I are always euchre partners, and whenever we win, we break out in the Sisters song from White Christmas. Everyone hates our guts. They all hate us. But it is so much fun. So I mean, euchre, that's just so much fun. I think it's good to do those kinds of things. Like we look forward to that. How about you? Do you guys play games? Do you guys play games on Christmas Eve or anything?
I watch football. It's
Well, that's a game. So
well, I am usually involved in cooking, and I see I'm not alone because JD Wininger
yes,
says
yeah.
that his dad used to make Christmas breakfast, and Mama would work the rest of the day on dinner and desserts. Of course, he did not go on to mention who cleans up all that mess.
Maybe it's a team effort. Yeah.
Well, I got asked to do the dishes one time. And so what I did is when I got started, I just broke a couple of them right away. And they said, you don't do that anymore. I thought, thank you.
You figured that out. Yeah, that was a good plan. I like that. Yeah, that's a good plan.
Winning
well, I think
through
that's true. A lot of
incompetence.
people do that. Well, listen, I'm all for that. We do the same thing. We always have like a casserole or something. But
Yep.
we used to have to go when the girls were little. We'd have to do all the rounds to all the different grandparents. So we lived locally then, and so Jeff's parents and my parents were both in town. So we'd spend Christmas morning with my parents and have a big breakfast. Right, that was the thing we did. And then we'd go to Jeff's family, his mom's family, and they'd feed you there. And then you go to Jeff's dad's family, and they'd feed you there. And it was just like all you did all day was eat. It was just like. You didn't want to see the Christmas cookie till the next year, which is good because, everybody goes on their new eating plan and healthy living in January, and you're ready for it because you're like, seriously, I'm sugared out. But that's not what we did. We just spent the whole day eating and seeing family. And it's not quite like that as much because our girls are grown, but there's still a lot of eating. I think eating and holidays go hand in hand.
What is
They do.
What is Dutch Blitz? I see in the chat room Ben Cooper says we've played Dutch Blitz. I don't even know what that is.
I don't either. What
I
is
don't know
that?
that one.
Is that a card game? I don't know.
I don't know.
I guess he'll update us. Bethany,
Google that. Yeah.
We'll Google it. Yeah, that's that paradigm of intellectual rigor, paragon of intellectual rigor. Speaking of intellectual rigor, Bethany, did you just finish up a little schoolwork?
Okay, so.
Or should I have not brought that up?
We were just talking about this. Yeah.
I have 3 modules left in my entire grad school career, and it's 3 parts of one big 800-point final. And my professor she's been great about feedback, and she gave a lot of feedback this week on what we need to have. And I zoomed, as much as I could to get as much in the screen. It was 2 screenshots of tiny text that I sent to Michelle, and I was like, these are all the extra notes of things that need to go into this PR campaign. So that'll be my week. The rest of the week is that. But
I had heart palpitations just reading through it. I'm like, oh my gosh, intense prayer for you right now. You can do this. But she always gets nervous and she always gets A's, so I'm not even concerned for her.
Now,
but it's a
Bethany,
lot.
you're pursuing a master's in marketing. What is it exactly?
It's a Master of Fine Arts in Communication. And I could have chosen like a marketing track or a PR track, but then I wouldn't have gotten both of the campaign where they teach you campaigns in both classes. So they said, if you don't choose a concentration, then you can pick any of the classes you want. So I said, I'm going to do both. So I took like the hardest ones in the marketing and hardest ones in PR so I can get both aspects.
Well, Bethany, degree or not, okay, you are a marketing fireball because the folks... I happen to know that the genius behind the 12 Days of Mom came from Bethany, and Bethany and Michelle make such a good pair because Bethany comes up with the ideas, and then Michelle, she designs the play and Michelle runs it. And folks, that I was moved. I mean, I'm not into all this mushy stuff. I mean, I'm kind of a testosterone poisoned guy. And but I was very touched, not only in the marketing genius, but the good fun you had, as well as the spiritual implications. But it's funny because the blooper video, I think, did better than all the others.
You see why we need your genius there, Mark. We can't be left to our own devices. That was our 3rd attempt. There was 2 that were just as bad. I don't know. My phone just kept falling on the floor and doing crazy things. This stupid phone I have, this one that's like ginormous, doesn't fit in any of these little things I have. What are these called? Tripods? It won't fit in here. It's too big. This doesn't stretch enough. So it just falls a lot, and it was bad. It was very bad.
I really wish we had been filming before because one of her journals was in front of the camera, so it was kind of like focusing. so
it was like this the entire video. There was like a piece of paper like right there.
And so I said, you need to move that. And so instead of looking at it in real life, she looked at it through the camera, and so all you see is her beautiful red fingernail go like this. Trying to get the paper.
It was bad. It was really bad.
That was my favorite.
Bethany couldn't even talk for like 10 minutes. She just laughed. And I was like, what? I don't know how to fix it.
Well, I'm going to have to seek out some of Bethany's marketing genius because, we're scheduling more and more new guests, and I'm so excited about the way PJNet is growing. But on 2 occasions, I have booked the same slot of time to 2 different people. So I realized I need some kind of planner.
Yes, happy planner.
And I thought,
I
know
about the happy planner.
An expert on planners. This woman, no, she's not an expert. She is OCD planner. Okay.
I don't know if you can see. I've got a whole row of them back there. I love them so much.
She got me hooked, and I just run to keep up on the planning. But she makes her own videos and stuff. Someday she's going to be in the Happy Planner team. There's such a thing, because in fact, Bethany interviewed a girl named Rebecca, And that's what she's on the team.
Happy planner team. Give a planner
It's a
to
happy planner.
to a group of people and start serving booze, and you'll have happy planner team. You'll have.
Well, now that's probably a different team than we're talking about, but yeah, that'll be one way to get a team, I would say.
Mark, I'm telling you, I will be on the squad it's the squad, and I will be one at some point. I didn't make it this year, but she gave me some good tips.
Tryouts are again coming up. Yeah, you'll get it. I know.
Yep.
I love it. My happy planner came in today, and Jeff let me have it early for Christmas present. I'm very excited. We're talking about traditions. That's one thing we did in our family is we would let everybody in the family open one gift on Christmas Eve. And so, like you couldn't wait. You'd go shake every gift to see which one you wanted to open. You didn't want to open like pots and pans or something on Christmas Eve. You wanted to open like jammies or, something exciting on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And so we'd ask, is this one I should open? And my mom would be like, no, not that one. And you're like, how about this one? Yeah, that might be a good one. We'd love that. We did that. And so we'd try to talk her into two. Can we just open two? And she'd get so mad. I told you one. And we're just going to go back to no presents on Christmas Eve if you ask again. Of course, we'd always try to push it every year. Are you sure we can't open two? I think you said we could do two this year. She's like, that was never the rule. But every year we try to push it. So we did the same thing in our house. You girls can open one present on Christmas Eve.
Suppose that you do that, and on Christmas Eve you open a present that is actually an accessory for one of the other presents you got. Now, I think that would constitute a precedent saying, well, you have to be able to open the other part. What if you got the batteries to your new Xbox?
Well, yeah, that's you open batteries. You're like, oh wow, thanks for that. But you're right.
I've always wanted some,
Duracell.
I've always wanted some AAA batteries. Yeah, I
know. Yeah, so I think if it goes with the other part of the present, then that just constitutes one present.
See, I knew you were going there.
I agree.
I knew.
So I think that's kind of fun. And then I don't know, our family always opened presents in like round robin. Like we divide up the presents. And I was talking to Bethany about this on our They Call Me Mom page. We got to pick out our wrapping paper so that everybody's wrapping paper matched their, like, you knew which presents were yours. Mine would always be like Scooby-Doo or IU or whatever. So I would know all these would be my gifts. And then so everybody had their own paper, which was kind of neat. It made it easy to divide.
I like that.
And then we'd go round robin. Everybody would open it so we could watch everybody else open a gift so it wouldn't go so quick. We would drag it out all morning. While we're eating cookies and things. And Eric was just going around, and then everybody would open and be like, oh, that's so great. Try it on, hold it up, and then take pictures and go to the next person. And it was just really fun. It just made the morning go on, but the kids never wanted to abide by that. They wanted to rip them all open all at once. And after a couple, 3 rounds, you just let them go. But I do love that because it kind of drags it out and makes it really fun to see what everybody gets.
That's what we do too. Like everyone gets I was so cool because my dad was always the person, and then Justin has, like in our family, he does that, and they sit by the tree, and then everyone has one, and then we go. But it's so much fun because then you get to. Otherwise, you miss because you want to see their face, or we want to get pictures, and I think it makes it.
Well, I think that's the most fun, even more than getting the gifts, is seeing the receivers, like their reaction, something you either made or worked on or bought, and like you're so excited for them to open it. I get more excited about that than even opening presents, seeing their reaction to what we got them. That's really fun. Okay, so the spiritual part, do you guys read the Christmas story either on Christmas Eve or Christmas morning? Do y'all do that?
We do. We don't have like a set time. Like some people were saying, like every year it's the same time. It's always at some point. It's just never. It's random. You never know it's coming.
Just whenever there's we used to try to. When my dad was alive, he would always do it Christmas Eve, like right when everybody got there from their other places they had to be. As soon as they got there, while everybody was wrangled in one room, he'd be like, "Okay, we're reading the Christmas story," and everybody would sit down and he would read it, and then we'd go around the room and everybody would say one thing that they were thankful for that from that year. And it was it was really touching. I really love that. Since Dad went to heaven, we really haven't done that. I think we should bring that back. We still read the Christmas story, but there's not that whole like what you're thankful for from the year before. I think that made it even more special. So I mean, some of the kids would be smart Alex and say something stupid, but that's just kids. That was, it's like, well, we're going to work on that for next year, but that, just those are the things the memories are made of. And I hope we do that again. I'm going to ask if we can do that again this year at my sister's. If there's something special about just everybody being grateful in the same room and kind of remembering things that happen. You forget things, Yeah.
From the chat room, on Christmas Eve, Ben Cooper says they only got their stockings. Now, yeah, so they did the stockings on Christmas Eve. That's a neat idea because the stockings are like a, anticlimactical afterthought. It's, but I was going to, would I had time to prepare instead of being thrown a curveball.
I would never do that. I don't know.
I would, but you know what? It's working. I wanted to Google the origins of the Christmas stockings themselves. Where did that come from? How about the origin of Christmas tree? Where did that come from? I'm sure.
Oh, I know that answer.
Oh, well,
Nancy Chernin, a children's author, actually wrote a book about the first Christmas tree, and you'll have to get it. So I would go get it, but I can't go over there to my shelf and get it because I'm hooked up here. But yeah, Nancy Chernin, just Google her, CHRNIN, wrote this beautiful children's book about the first Christmas tree. It came out in a couple months ago. Oh, so pretty. I ordered it from Amazon. Can't think of the title. I'll have to Google it, but you're going to want it. Yeah. But yeah, so that would be a great thing to know all those things. I think I'm a nonfiction person. I love to know all that stuff. Yeah.
Well,
it's a good idea.
You can find out the truth on Google, that's for sure.
Nancy Chernin. I'm looking her up right now.
I see that with your other
phone. I'm going to look her up with my other phone.
Are you going to get a new phone that we can actually use for this program? I mean, your husband, one of these days, is going to say, no, you can't use my phone to be on that stupid show.
Well, I was just saying, my daughter was supposed to do this for me this week, and we never did get over to the whatever that store is. Like, what is it? Who's our carrier? I can't remember. But anyway,
AT&T
is yeah, that's it.
Okay, the three letters, the largest company on the earth.
That's the one, the AT&T. The Queen and the First Christmas Tree. That's what it's called. Nancy Chernin, The Queen and the First Christmas Tree. So you guys are going to want to get that. The Queen and the First Christmas Tree. Yeah, so Nancy Chernin.
Well, folks, she's not going to tell us. You have to buy the book. Okay.
No, I'm not going to tell you because I want you to buy Nancy's book. Yeah.
I see. Okay. If you really want to know, she's done the research, or you can Google it yourself and probably find out the same way she did. I don't know. Tammy from Georgia says that we did family presents, most of them anyway, on Christmas Eve, then from Santa on Christmas morning. And my brother and I talked Mom out of at least one present or two, blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on.
Yes. So, yeah. See,
well,
we all do that. We all talk the parents out of another present, yeah.
Well, I don't believe, I think it's actually harmful to children to allow them to open Christmas presents on Christmas Eve. What you're telling them is that it's okay to break the rules. So I bah humbug, no.
Well, you're no fun. That's part of the fun. I mean, I've always kind of been a rule breaker, so I'm not surprised that you have that take on it. But yeah, I really like that. Let me ask you this. Now, this may just be me showing that I'm getting older, but have you ever hidden presents and then you can't find them? Like, you bought them and you hid them so that no one could find them, the person you bought them for, and then you can't find them yourself to wrap? Am I the only one that's happened to? I mean, there's a scene from that in the Christmas Vacation where Chevy chases up in the attic and he finds a gift and he blows dust off, and it was from several years ago. I think I might have even been a Mother's Day gift. But I mean, that I'm like, oh, that happens to me. I found it happened this year. I was looking in the bag of wrapping paper from last year because I had some left over, and I found Crest whitening strips that were supposed to go in one of the girls' stockings. I'm like, I wonder if those have expired. Can I use those again this year?
Yeah,
you didn't make it into the stocking last year.
Yeah, I got a planner for 2017 last year.
See, I mean, it happens.
No, they were on sale.
That too, yeah. Well, if you get the Happy Planner, you can get the ones that aren't dated, and then you're good to go. Right.
Oh, I need that. I don't need to be reminded of how old I am, by knowing the correct date.
No.
Rachel Colby, you both know her, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, Rachel.
She says, yes, I have hidden presents and found them after Christmas or a year later.
Thank you so much for saying that I'm not the only one that does this. Now, Rachel, we need to start a support club or something. I don't know.
One of the traditions...
We should text each other.
One of the traditions that I observe every year, of course, I don't much care for the work nowadays of putting up Christmas present decorations. So what I do is I invite all of the atheists who do not believe in Christmas. I invite them to my house because they don't want me to even put them up. So I invite them over on December 26th to take down the Christmas presents because they've been wanting that done. But no, they never show up.
I bet not. Because those lights and stuff are tough to take down. Not a bad idea, though. My son-in-laws always help us with getting all the decorations down out of the attic and then putting them back up. And it's so funny. They like will kind of fight over it, like, oh yeah, not going to be able to make it on the 26th or whenever we take them down. Usually it's more like after the first of the year. Yeah, I've got a job interview. They just make stuff up. I'm like, you do not. You don't have a job. I know you don't. Like, I know where to find you. Just come over and help me. I mean, they just laugh about it because both of them hate to get stuck doing that, but they do. I mean, that's just part of being the family. You got to pull your weight. Got to help us with it.
Remember the old days of the Christmas tree lights that were actually bulbs, and you'd light up the tree and those bulbs would get just red hot, to the touch, and if any one of them went out, the whole darn string would go out. Now you got to figure it out. And I remember when tinsel was made of lead. Remember that? Oh yeah!
I don't remember that.
Oh, that lead tinsel. Oh yeah, it dangled like a necklace. Okay, and buddy,
wow.
you could snap that thing up and it would whip around the limb. But it
had dangerous.
Well,
my kids would be whipping each other with it.
Yeah, but
that could be like a trip to the ER right there.
Yeah, that lead tinsel was really easy to apply. Where today it's hard to apply because it's just this little. Looks like it's like hair.
Flimsy.
Flimsy.
Yeah.
And you're trying to, and of course I'm used to that, pop that thing up, but it won't do it, and it just, it's like, and of course, we used to eat lead and we used to, gosh, but today I'm sure it's poison. And
you used to eat lead?
Well, we would, remember the old sinkers you would put on the fishing line, had a little slit in it? You put the line and close it.
He used to make his own lures. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the way you close that up is put it in your mouth, and bite it down on
true.
it.
Yeah.
And we ingested lead. And I remember, we'd get a little bit of mercury, in the chemistry class, and boy, you'd roll that stuff around on the desk, and it's like it's permeate. You could absorb it through your fingers, and of course,
that's not good.
Yeah, and I used to ride, in the old cars, behind the rear seat was the back deck. So the window came down, there was where the speakers go. I used to sleep back there on top of that
So did my husband.
and if there would have been an occasion to slam the brakes on, I would have been flung up to the front dash like a wet rag, just splat,
Yep.
Yeah.
I know. We do that with our kid. There's all the car seats and stuff now, right? Like, and so you're supposed to do. That's great, but I just remember standing in the back seat and stuff. Like as a kid, didn't happen. It's amazing that we're all still here, actually.
Well, I used to drink water from the water hose. Remember that?
Well, yeah. In the summertime. Sure.
Yeah. Just drink it out of the water hose. You have to run it a little bit because it's hot down here in Florida. I know you don't know anything about that, but you lived in Texas. It was good.
It was hot there, yeah.
Oh yeah, and we drink water out of the creek, or crick as you might say up there.
Crick,
yeah. We'd go grab the frogs, and squeeze them, and they pee on you. But nonetheless, it was. This
conversation's really digressed. Frog pee.
Holiday tradition. Frogs.
Well, what about firecrackers? We used to go down to the store, and you'd have to discreetly. There was a store there, all the kids knew they had firecrackers are illegal here in Florida, but we knew where to buy them. Oh yeah, man, we'd go, and the reason we love firecrackers because all kids love firecrackers. But what we do, we'd go down to the little Jiffy store and say, "My dad wants a cigar." So we'd get a cigar and smoke it so you could use the cigar to light the firecrackers and you wouldn't go through boxes and boxes of matches. So it was an excuse to smoke a cigar. Here we are 9 years old, puffing on a cigar.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
It's terrible. Yeah. Now, do you guys in your towns, do they have like fireworks for New Year's Eve? Is that something that they do in either place? You guys are both in Florida, but...
I think neighborhoods will do it. I heard, for 4th of July, there were a ton of people doing it here. And every place we've lived in over here in Tampa, they've always had a group of people would get together and do fireworks for any excuse, any reason to throw off fireworks.
Yeah, that's kind of.
So I'm sure, in this new neighborhood, I bet we'll have the same thing.
When we lived in Texas, we didn't live on the lake. We were in like a lakefront community. We could see the lake if the leaves were just right, but we weren't on the lake. But they did have like a lighted boat show. People would come by with like Christmas lights in their boat. It was really cool. And then they would do fireworks on New Year's Eve on the lake. It was really beautiful. I don't know if they'll do that here. Well, they won't do it on a lake because there's not a lake near here. But I don't know if they'll do fireworks here on Christmas Eve. New Year's Eve. They might. I can't remember. We weren't here the last few years. We've been traveling, but this year we'll be here in town, so I'll have to see. But I think that's kind of a neat tradition. Fireworks on New Year's Eve. That's sort of neat.
Okay. I'm being reminded by my producer that we were over 10 minutes ago, but that's okay. Now, so let me try to get a grasp of the future here. Bethany, when will your studies be kind of behind you so we can get back on track with what we do?
I think January 20th is the date in my head, but it's those first 2 weeks in January or I finish.
The girl who is OCD planner does not know what day her class ends. Okay, that's all right. So, girl.
I am
blocking it out.
Sunday. I just got to get through this one.
Well, actually, it's a testimony to how great her planners work. She doesn't have to remember all these things. She just refers to her planner. Her planner, her planner tells her what to do. It's amazing. I think every husband should get their wife a planner and then write in it. Here's what you do, honey.
That would not work.
But Michelle, you have you've not been traveling lately, so it's kind of good to be settled down a little bit. When does the fires start up again? When do you go back on the road?
Right after the new year, things get cooking. So I have like 4 speaking engagements in the first 4 weeks of the year. But I'm flying down to see Bethany. I think it's the week of the 17th. We've got 2 interviews for They Call Me Mom and Platinum Faith that we get to do together in the same room. It was kind of fun. And then we're going to do a planning meeting with Kyle Young, our agent for Serious Writer, and Nick and Nakia Kelly, all of us together, and go to Disney one day. And then I have to fly back and speak at a women's conference in Danville, Illinois. So it's getting kind of crazy. I speak at a school before that, but I can't remember the day because I don't have my planner in front of me. This is downstairs. I just got it today. So I'll have to, sometime in January, it's like early. Yeah, second week.
I want Bethany to get, tell me what planner I need, go get it, and I want her to sign it just like a book, because, Bethany's, on her one sheet, she's got, have published multiple planners,
Look at I actually did.
She did.
I did. I created my own.
And I loved it. It was one of my favorites. I loved it so much. It was really pretty.
Yeah, so here's my memoirs, and you hand them a planner. This is what I did last year.
She's going to be on the squad. Happy Planner Squad. I'm telling you, it's happening.
It's happening.
That's great. Well, I tell you, we are looking forward to a great, what I'm going to call the Roaring 20s for PJNet.TV, which it will soon become. And we have been with the help of Sunbelt Girl, we've been looking at some new equipment to get. So when we come to the North Carolina conference, there's going to be a new sheriff in town. We're bringing some new gear, and we'll be showing that off. And
that's exciting.
Oh, by the way, we got word today. Doug Carter is going to be scheduled sometime next week because he is doing some research on nativity scenes and some of the cultural impact and influences that, there's people out there that don't want to see those kinds of things. It's offensive to them. It hurts their little feelings. And he's actually going to be submitting and publishing, an article is going to be published on it. So we don't know the exact date yet, but it will be next week. We will have Doug Carter telling us about that.
That's great.
That's awesome. Way to go, Doug.
We have just got speaker after speaker, guest after guest. Too much to tell you about, but it's going to be a great year. Not only for Serious Writer, but for PJNet.TV as we begin to focus our energies on the same types of things and promoting each other and promoting things together. I'm really looking forward to it, and I will be getting off 4 days per week during the week, starting in January.
That's
and
awesome.
I will actually have time to finish up some of the work that I started at the North Carolina conference in August. Before I go back, it would be nice to finish what I started the year before.
Yeah.
So it's been great. Bethany, I'm just glad to see you. I congratulate you seriously on your work, especially on the 12 Days of Mom. That was just, what's the word I'm looking
So
for?
fun.
It was fun and so meaningful and so
great.
popular and such, you all know what you're doing. And it's great to have you part of this because, we're very, very blessed with some really, really good people. The two of you, Del Didway, J.D. Winiger will be on weekly
Yeah.
starting in January. It will be every
That's
Thursday. Oh, yeah. Just, folks, things are just blooming. They're blossoming. But I tell you what, I'll be honest with you. It's not luck and it's not just random. It's work. But most importantly, we've got people praying for this ministry because they've seen what the impact can be, folks. Every Christian has a voice, and we need to get that voice, their stories told. And I'm just grateful this is a dream come true. What we're doing right now, we had visions of this as early as 2012. And we've waited and waited and just sought the Lord, and it's all starting to happen. We're getting a new camera that we'll be using up in North Carolina that will do better at capturing the low light situations. We've got some new lighting. We've got new sound equipment. We've got new video equipment. We've got gimbals. Oh, we got not one, but two. That's a little thing you can put the camera in this little frame. And man, you can just wave that camera around and that camera's not going to move, folks. You could run behind
I gotta get
somebody.
one of those. You mean it's better than this right here? Can't imagine.
We have two. The first one, we've already got it. Man, if I could just hang on a minute. Hang on. I'm going to do something incredibly stupid, but I'm going to do it anyway. Folks, this is a gimbal. So you mount the camera up here, and buddy, you can wave this thing around, and that camera's going to stay stable.
Oh, wow.
Okay, it's balanced on. It's a technological marvel. This is actually the low end. Okay, this one uses gravity and weight to stabilize the camera. The one that we just got has got 3 motors in it, and you got a little joystick on this thing. You got a joystick right here. And man, you can tell that camera what to do. It's connected to the camera. The motors just do all this stuff. You can put a camera on top of this thing and tell it to rotate 360 degrees. That's called vortex.
Wow.
Oh yeah, you can make a guy on a surf on what do you call those stupid things? With the 4 wheels and the board. You put what do you call that? Come on.
A skateboard?
Skateboard. Yeah. You can just be filming him and tell that camera to turn. It'll look like he's in a wave. Upside.
Cool.
Oh wow, folks, there is so much. If you could only see around me, it would be mind-boggling. This is
It's
like
exciting.
Oh, it's like the bridge of the Enterprise in here. It's a technological orgy. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But anyway, girls, you are the greatest, and that wasn't that funny.
Oh, Mark, that's hilarious.
That was pretty good. I can't.
What is your holiday tradition?
We've gone from frog pee to technological orgy all in one show.
I'm going to import a bunch of snakes in here. We're going to have snakes crawling around.
Not.
Yeah. I've got a snake in my old vehicle, my 1994 Nissan pickup truck, and it when you get that truck to 48 miles an hour, the steering wheel turns into a live snake, and you're trying to
Jeez.
It's only got 260,000 miles on it, it's fine.
Oh, well, there you go.
Anyway, folks, it has been so much fun. Thank you, girls. I appreciate you. And we're going to have to do this one again. Maybe next time we'll prepare for it,
I mean, what's the fun in that, though? Right? This is fun.
I can't imagine. But, girls,
Thanks
thank
for
you
letting me crash.
All right.
Yeah,
have a
it was
good night, girls. All right. Well, folks, we went kind of late on PJNet Live, but I hope that, well, you've been very indulgent, very long-suffering, I might add, and we've had a lot of fun. Folks, I hope that you will join us. We'll kind of hang out here tomorrow night. We don't have a regularly scheduled guest for tomorrow, but who knows, by tomorrow we may. But it is great to have Ben Cooper with us. Doug Carter's in our chat room. Steve Hazards. Hey, Friday night. You got to be here on Friday night. Steve Hazards runs the show on Friday night. Really. It is very different, but you're going to love it. JD is with us. Rachel Colby's with us. Sunbelt Girl is with us. And Tammy from Georgia. And there might have been others that have come and gone that I simply miss them. It's so much fun being a part of the PJNet Live family. And we appreciate you joining us. And we'll do this again right here on PJNet Live.